So I just got back from seeing The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2, and as you can probably tell, I'm a huge fan of The Hunger Games, both the books and the movies I love. I own The Hunger Games 3-disc edition. I think it's a very well-made film, and I own The Hunger Games Catching Fire, the DVD Blu-ray combo pack, which is also a very good film. I do not, however, own Mockingjay Part 1 because I felt it was very dull and not a movie I'd want to watch again, which, as I don't know if you guys know this, I have like kind of a formula which I'll get into a little bit later, but as for Mockingjay Part 2, I saw it today, and I thought it was okay. Like, I'll get into it right now, though. I think Jennifer Lawrence was very, very good in the film. Like, she is perfect as Katniss Everdeen. Like, I'll watch anything with her, but especially, like, the Hunger Games series, because she always brings something to the table. I liked the cast of this film as well. I think some of them may have been misused, but I think that they overall were great in it. The late Philip Seymour Hoffman, he was good in it for the little bit he was in. I think the production design was overall very good because, I mean, they put a lot of money in this one especially, and it shows. I really like also the color choice they used for the cinematography. Without getting into it a lot, I liked how it was very gray. It was very, like, dull-ish. But that's just it, guys. Now I'm going to get into the negatives. And I'm not going to start off the negatives with, oh my goodness, this was not accurate at all to the book. Like, oh my goodness. Ugh. No, I'm going to say this. Film and books are two different forms of expressing yourself, of art. And that's just it, guys. I did read the books, and I'm not going to talk about how different they are, and I'm not going to say how similar they are either. What I'm going to say is, as a film, it wasn't well made. And as entertainment goes, I wasn't really entertained by it. In fact, I was kind of bored by it. I don't use that word often, as most of you know. I hate that word. In fact, I think it's very contrived. I think it's cliche. But that's just it. It was as such, and it was cliched. Like, the romance, it was non-existent. There wasn't any chemistry. I think the first two films did a much better job at expressing the chemistry between Katniss and Peeta, but with this, it was non-existent. You're watching these two characters, and without spoiling anything, by the end, you're like, really? I mean, that kind of feels out of place. It's like script writing 101. Like, let's just put this character in this situation. But that's just it. That's what I don't like. I don't like it when they use Deus Ex Machina. For those of you who don't know what a Deus Ex Machina is, it's simply when a character is put in a situation and they're unable to get out of it, and then all of a sudden the scriptwriter is like, oh, we got to put this in here so that then they can get out of that situation. And that's just it. They do this a lot in this film. Not so much as like Avatar, but they still do it enough to where it's noticeable. And I also really didn't like the pacing in this film because, as I said, it's boring, and it shows in the pacing because there's like a little bit of action. Just as it's getting interesting, then it halts and gets back to being dull. And that's the main thing about this film. It's dull. And I always base films, as I was saying earlier in the review, entertainment, critically speaking, and would I watch it again? It wasn't entertaining, and critically speaking, it really didn't pass the test. And would I watch it again? No, I wouldn't. And that's from someone who loves The Hunger Games. I love the first two movies. I've read the books a couple of times. I think it's a very well-written book series, and I think the first two movies are well-written. But as an overall movie, Mockingjay Part 2 just doesn't work, and it ended the series on a whimper. It's the equivalent of if your mom and dad, if they make you chicken and dumplings, you know, you're excited because it's chicken and dumplings. Who doesn't like chicken and dumplings? And you're like eating it, you know, and then all of a sudden she gives you asparagus, and it's like, why are you giving me asparagus after you just gave me chicken and dumplings? That's the equivalent, guys. Chicken and dumplings, asparagus, Mockingjay Part 1 and 2. Yeah, if you don't like that analogy, oh well. But that's my analogy for Part 1 and 2 of the series. I will be giving The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2 a 3 out of 5 star rating. So I say don't see it in theaters. Catch it on DVD if you can. But anyways, guys, yeah, the series has ended. And yeah, if you guys have any questions or comments about... because I wanted to fully express it, but I kind of can't because I try and get my reviews kind of short. But if you have any questions, comment section or any other forms of medium that you can contact me by. But have a good rest of your night.